Alrighty. Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man, aka All the Rage George Page, the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. And now here with me, my mate, my ace boon coon, my co conspirator, Jared. And say hello to the people, Jared.
Hey, how's it going?
Anyway, today is MuscleTalk Monday, episode number 20. And you've seen this in the description. We're going to talk about the legendary 10-time Miss Olympia, one Miss Iris Floyd Kyle. And if anybody know about Miss Kyle, she is one of the few women in the sport to have the most wins, more than any competitive bodybuilder, meaning man or woman, holding any title in any other division. You know, she has whole titles. She's the at least 7-time Miss International and 10-time Miss Olympia. Now, 2020, she was going to make a return at the Miss Olympia, but because of illness, she had to drop out. But there's a chance that maybe when things get settled, she might make a return in 2021. So we'll go to my man Jared. He'll give you a lot of the info and everything you learn. So so let's go on, Jay.
Okay, perfect. We start off Irish Kyle in 1994 in Orange County, California. And one of the reasons that Irish gets into bodybuilding originally is because she's surrounded by fit, healthy-looking people in Orange County. Another reason she gets into bodybuilding is because of a picture she sees of Linda Murray. She is the Miss Olympia champion at the time. And she would even have a picture of Linda Murray cut out and put on her refrigerator as sort of like a role model. And that's very key, because later on you'll see her relationship with Linda Murray. And basically, a local promoter named Butch Dennis was in her gym that she was working out in and suggested to her to join a competition in 10 weeks, the Long Beach Muscle Classic. And so Irish joins that competition, and not only does she join it, she wins it. So from 1994 until turning pro, she's advised and coached by professional bodybuilder Patrick Lynn. And I don't really have much to go over her amateur years, except the earliest known footage I could find of Irish on the internet is her competing at the 1996 NPC USA Championships. And at this one, she gets second place to Heather Foster in the heavyweight category. And after that, she gets a few other placings until at the 1998 NPC USA Championships, Irish edges out Heather Foster by 1 point in the final tally after having shared the first place judging votes with her, and went on to win the heavyweight overall and her IFBB pro card at the age of 22 years old. So that's a pretty good feat at the age of 22, I'd say.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think Joanna Thomas was age 21? That's pretty early.
Yeah.
Her IFBB Pro debut was at the 1999 Miss International, where she placed 15th. That's probably the lowest in her entire career she placed, but she bounced back at the 1999 Pro World Championships, where she placed second. And this was very important because it qualified her for the 1999 Miss International, where she placed fourth. It's interesting to note that the first Olympia that Irish Kyle attends is the last Miss Olympia that Kim Shavesky attends. So it's kind of like the torch is being passed to a new generation of bodybuilding kind of moment.
Yeah, because I remember that's 99. That was like Kim Shavesky's last Olympia, and also I think Laura Rivera played second in that show, and Laura Rivera didn't come back to 2002.
Yeah. So, in 2000, the IFBB made several changes. First change was the Miss Olympia would no longer be a separate competition. Instead, it would be part of the Olympia weekend in Las Vegas, and it would be held the day before the men's show. Second change was weight classes were introduced, heavyweight and lightweight. This had already been part of the NPC competitions, amateur, but now it would be part of the pro contest. And the third change was new judging guidelines for presentation. And this was the second of the IFBB's, what's the word I'm looking for? So-called judging guidelines. I'm going to put that in air quotes right there.
Or we would call it the 20% rule. They wanted the women to come in 20% less muscle. I remember they talked about that. I think I talked to a couple like Nancy Lewis about that, and also I think Wes talked about it. I think Price. I know talk to Nancy Lewis about it, and a couple of ladies talked about that 20% rule, in which they want women to come in smaller. Because back then, Kim Shavesky, I think she changed the status of it. Kim Shavesky, I think Lisa Lewis and a couple other girls were coming a lot more bigger after 96, 97. And they just changed the look of it. I think that's when all the judges and ASPD was saying they want to vote. Getting too big, but they didn't do the same thing again. The other guys get bigger, Ronnie Coleman and the other guys.
The 20% rule would come in the 2004 letter, but this one pretty much is basically almost the same thing. And Jim Manson's chairman of the Professional Judges Committee gave that the criteria that they're looking for is symmetry, presentation, separations, and muscularity, but quote-unquote not to the extreme, whatever that means exactly. And this is, the guidelines, I feel, are definitely going to be not introduced fairly, to say the least. So, we got all that out of the way. So, at the 2000 Miss International, Irish Kyle would place third in the heavyweight. However, she, along with Tazzy Columba, were both disqualified for diuretic use.
Yeah.
This is basically like stuff that you take. So when you urinate, it dispenses during like a drug test or anything like that, and which comes literally right after this Manson's letter about this very issue, and Bill Dobbins pretty much has this quote here where he says, "Why did these women fail this drug test when they had passed so many others? Perhaps the imposition of these new IFBB guidelines had something to do with it." Okay.
I remember Tazzy Columbus. Tazzy was pretty big. And I think, for the diuretic, like, if you follow me, I follow WMA. And there's been some MMA fighters who use diuretics because it pushes out fluid. So they be able to cut weight, And that's the thing with bodybuilders. They want to cut out extra fluid in your system to be able to show more vascularity, also pop better on stage. Like if you like to have fits, so you can more detail it, do a whole lot of water. And that's a thing to do. You can't get dehydrated. There's been bodybuilders who have training for that. Some people, just have died on the stage like that. That's dangerous. But at the same time, it's a sport, and it's about competition. Now, diuretic, there's not as bad as you use steroids. Steroids is one thing, but diuretics is another. Steroids is just for working out, trying to get the extra push, while diuretics is just pushing out water. And I've never seen the reason why one thing is different from the other. Just pushing out water is not like, as anything else. And with the USADA, like, they just wanted to make sure that nobody has stepped over anybody else.
Yeah, I agree. So after that incident, at the 2000 Miss Olympia, she placed 5th in the heavyweight. At the 2001 Miss International, Irish came in 2nd place in heavyweight to Vicky Gates. And now, at the 2001 Miss Olympia, Irish and Vicky would come back, and they were both pretty much tied for the most part. Gates won the symmetry round, earning 1 second place vote before the highs and lows were tossed out. Irish earned top honors in the muscularity round, same way. She displayed her 155 pounds of muscle and 5.6 frame. And when the first 2 rounds were added up, the women went into the finals with Irish trailing Gates by 4 points. But by the 4th round, they were tied at 43 points. So when the judges added back in the highs and low scores, Irish was the one who came out on top. So she managed to win by literally just the extra votes coming in, basically. So Irish did win the heavyweight overall Miss Olympia of 2001. However,
Uh-huh.
and this is a but, she would lose to uh, Miss Bergman
Yeah.
in the lightweight champion, who would win the 2001 Miss Overall. Um, and they wanted to go with, a lighter look compared to Irish. I don't agree, obviously, but that was what the judging was at the time. And Irish's quote on that was, I sincerely believe that I am the rightful 2001 overall Miss Olympia. I'm not saying Juliet didn't display a nice overall package. I'm just saying my physique was better. And I think that's a pretty fair critique of it all. But you're going to see that Irish coming in second is going to become almost like it's going to become basically like the new thing for the next few years here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, like I said, she's like, to me, I think because Judith Bergman presented a certain physique, she was a little softer in a way, and and I was a big fan of Judith Bergman back in the day when she was competing a good part of the '80s, and then she dropped out, and they wanted somebody a little softer, more feminine for the quality that what the IFB wanted. And that's why they pushed like in 2000 when they pushed the two Miss Olympias when they didn't want to give the title to Andrew Lachette, who was a lightweight, who was just very more muscular compared to the heavyweight Valentina Cheke. But that was just what they wanted. They wanted more softer, feminine-looking bodybuilder. That's why they did Juliet Bergen. They pulled Juliet Bergen out of retirement hit that year's Olympiad because they want somebody to come down to it. I mean, Andrew Lachette placed second to Juliet hit that Miss Olympia that year. And if you want Juliet, you want Andrula to come up to be like, you get the attitude to be Irish for Andrula. They might have went for Andrula, but they had Juliet there, so Juliet.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the first time that the lightweight beat the heavyweight overall for the Miss Olympia title. This rarely happens in the sport. It does happen, but not always.
Yeah.
So after so at the 2002 Miss International, Irish Kyle came in second heavyweight to Yaxini Oracle. And this would begin sort of a little rivalry between the two for the next decade or so. And so at the 2002 Miss Olympia, Linda Murray comes out of retirement, and her physique is far more muscular than she was in her 1997 physique, because she was edged out by Kim Chevesky, who was far more muscular at the time. So when Linda Murray comes back in, she's very big, very huge, and Irish would come in second to Linda Murray at the 2002 Miss Olympia. So, right after that, Irish would attend the 2002 GNC Show of Strength, where again she would come in second place to Yaxini Oraquin in the heavyweight class. So Irish is constantly just getting all these second places around this time. and she decides to skip the 2003 Miss International. I guess she just wants to focus on the 2003 Miss Olympia. Um, and at the 2003 Miss Olympia, Irish once again comes in second place to heavyweight in the heavyweight division to Linda Murray. And this time, after the competition, Irish threatens to quit the sport of bodybuilding entirely. I got a quote here about Irish, about that experience. No one can describe the disappointment I had to losing to Linda Murray in the 2003 Miss Olympia, when I clearly know that, and others knew, I beat her by a landslide. Okay, Linda had great delts and maybe the best in the business. A wonderful shape to her physique, nice round bellies to her muscles. But let the story be told that she didn't have the harmony, the lines, not to mention the definition I displayed that year. So, Irish is really at a low point at this point. But there is a slight light through the tunnel, so to speak, that despite threatening to quit, Irish would come back at the 2004 Miss International. And I guess the threat of her quitting kind of worked, because she would beat Yaxini Oroquin first in the heavyweight, and would beat Diana Cadeau for the overall for the 2004 Miss International. So finally, Irish has an overall win to her belt. And at the 2004 Miss Olympia, this is the last one that Linda Murray would attend, because she already announced that this would be her last Olympia before she would retire permanently. Irish would go on to beat Linda Murray, first in heavyweight, and then go on to beat Diana Cadeau for overall. So Irish had managed to beat her role model originally growing up, the same person that she had on her refrigerator, the picture she had of Linda Murray. She managed to beat her refrigerator picture, she said. And this is also important, that this is the first time since 1996 when Kim Chevesky won the Miss International and Miss Olympia titles in the same year in a row. And Irish would win both the Miss International and Miss Olympia in the same year 7 times, only being cut short by the Arnold Classic discontinuing the Miss International in 2003. So literally, the only reason she stopped winning the Miss International and Miss Olympia is because they just discontinued doing it. I just find that funny. She's winning so much they have to discontinue the events, basically. So
I remember also, I think 2000, yeah. Also, I remember in 2011 she placed 7th. 2011, 2010 she placed 7th because they're saying she had some kind of zit on her glutes, on her butt. But what people were saying, it was a bad. And with the thing with the Miss International, or the owners of the swimming tax are saying because people wanted to buy tickets for the Miss International. But you got to think about it, the shows go together in a way. So if you're not buying tickets for the International, you're buying tickets for the Australian Classic. So to me, that doesn't make sense. Where they would buying tickets for the Australian Classic, Even though international was part of that too.
Yeah, yeah, and it was the 2008 Miss International, and I will definitely talk about that in 1 second because Irish also said what was going on there. So, a memo was issued on December 2004 by Jim Manson again, chairman of the IFBB, and it introduced the so-called 20% rule, requesting that the IFBB athletes for the female bodybuilders reduce their muscularity by quote-unquote 20%. They also abolished all IFBB weight classes as well. Uh, I believe it was after the 2005 Miss International. So, the 20% rule, the interesting thing is that, according to Irish, she came in 20% less muscular at the 2005 Miss International, and guess what? Yaxani Orquin did not, but Yaxani Orquin won. So basically, she followed the rules, and she lost for it. So this is what I'm saying about these, all these so-called rules that the IFBB introduces about muscularity. They will follow. They'll only loosely follow it at best, if follow it at all. And I think this is the last time that they issue these kind of rules. I think there was maybe one other time in 2008, but besides that, after that, they haven't done anything like this since. Thank goodness. So, Irish did not attend the 2000. Yeah. Go on.
I was saying like, but yeah, by then, yeah, because it just they kept changing everything up because, like, I know, like I was hearing like some from people here and there that say that Iris was just that's why she barely ever doing promotion for certain shows.
Sorry, George, you completely broke up on me.
I'm sorry, y'all. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. And I'm sorry that we're in and out. I just, like I said, my computer um just just keeps having issues, and we're talking pretty good about Iris Kyle, and it's just it's just it's a thing with this computer. I have for at least 6 years. I know I need to get more of a stronger, you know, uh, more updated computer, something more for internet and web surfing. I'm hoping I can save some cash down the road, maybe by the end of I think I might do this because usually this is the best way to do it. Um, Around about you have uh um that Christmas we're down here. Walmart does layaway on Christmas, and you have to do layaways around. Yeah, here you go. And I need to get a stronger, better computer for if I'm beyond the web. So
Definitely.
but like I said, if you want to finish where we left off, that'd be cool with
So
me.
we left off at 2006, and interesting to note, this is probably the year that I first started. A young teenage Jared discovered female bodybuilding. Uh, right around the time I had access to the internet, and I discovered these women during the one of the height of female bodybuilding in terms of muscularity alone, and I became an instant fan at the age of like 14, and yeah, so there's that. So in 2006, Irish would make a comeback, defeating Diana Cadeau for the 2006 Miss International and Miss Olympia the same year in a row. In 2007, Irish would beat Yaxini Oraquin and Yaxini Oraquin for the 2007 Miss International and Diana Cadeau for the 2007 Miss Olympia. Now, in 2008, Irish would come in 7th place. She was not in the top 6. And originally, it was reported that she was disqualified. No, she placed in the top 7. And the judge, one of the judges, said that the reason was because of distortions in her physique, namely her shoulders and glutes. And Irish would actually confirm in an interview in 2012 that these bumps on her shoulders and glutes was because of site injections, so injection sites. But Irish did say at the Pro Bodybuilding Weekly radio show after the Miss International, she said that this wouldn't have been an issue if she was a male, and thought she probably should have placed first. And another quote is by Irish is, when you are in the sport and you decide to take it to the league level, you know that those things take place. So again, it's just, more double standards in the sport, basically. So Irish would rebound at the 2008 Miss International with Betty Vinna Atkins coming in second to her. And so, and then at the 2009, she would rebound at the Miss International by beating Debbie Lasquisky, I think that's how it pronounced.
No, Debbie Lesniski.
Laniski, sorry.
Lesniski. Yeah.
That's definitely a very thick Polish last name right there. I know because my grandfather on my mother's side, he wasn't Polish, but he was raised by Polish nuns in Wisconsin, and his last name was Sipersky. That was his adopted last name. So I know a little bit about Polish last names from Wisconsin. After winning the 2009 Miss International, she went on to win the 2009 Miss Olympia, beating Heather Armbrust. Now, Heather Armbrust could have been a serious competitor and may have even been able to beat Irish in a few years, but she retired, so that threat was kind of neutralized, basically. In 2010, Irish would win the 2010 Miss International, and Miss Olympia, with Yaxini Oroquin coming in second both times. The 2011 Yaxini Oroquin again comes in second to Irish both times. And I'm mentioning second place because honestly, at this point, Irish is just racking up the wins. Anytime she competes at this point, it's good to just mention who's coming in second, because that's all that really changes for the most part now.
Yeah.
The 2012 Miss International, Irish hurts her leg, so she can't compete in that one. Yaxini takes that one. But the 2012 Miss Olympia, Irish does compete in, and Debbie comes in second. So Irish rebounds at the 2013 Miss International, and this is going to be the last Miss International held since. Also, I would like to point out that I think around 2013, at this Miss International, Irish really starts reaching her peak of muscularity. I find it. She looks the biggest. I find her at the 2013 Miss International to be her at her peak, like in terms of just muscularity. She's got that like nice sex appeal to her, with like her hair and everything else, and she really is like at her best. So she beats Yaxini Oraquin, and at the 2013 Miss International, and Elena Popa comes in second at the 2013 Miss Olympia. So, because they discontinued the Miss International, Irish competed at the 2014 Miss Olympia, where Elena Popa came in second to Irish again. And Irish announced on stage that she'd be retiring from the sport. So, and then, like a month or two later, they announced that the Miss Olympia would be discontinued from the Olympia weekend. So
that was the thing right there.
Yeah.
And that was the thing right there, because there was that debate where a lot of people felt like Alina should have won in 2014, but this is what I always say: a lot of female bodybuilders, they hit their peak in their mid 30s to the early 40s. Like, as Andrea Shaw, who won the Miss Olympia this last year, she was 37. And I think that's when she hit her muscular peak. Now, quite happens with a lot of women in their mid to late 30s. That's when they hit it. That's when it seem like their body's more developed. Because in your 20s, your body's still developing, you're still growing. But when you hit your 30s, you just hit that peak. And a lot of women have won shows at that level. And then in 2013, not only because of the they got rid of the Miss International, the NPC decided to discontinue international amateur competition, because the last two bodybuilders to come from the NPC for the international division was Lisa Cross and Virginia Sanchez, which means it was harder for having brand new bodybuilders from Europe to come in to keep the competition going. Because truthfully, between the American women and a good amount of the women from Europe and like maybe from other countries overseas, that keep the division growing. And that was really hard for it, because the fresh blood coming in to rejuvenate the division, other than the women that were there now and the women who are competing in the NPC in the American division.
Yeah, definitely. They did make it a lot harder. And there was only like a few IFBB pros who even competed at the time. Only like a handful. So, yeah, those would definitely make it a lot harder, which is why you'd see pretty much the same faces quite a bit. But yeah, I do agree with you that, a woman in their 30s or 40s tends to usually come in at their peak performance, which is why I think Irish in the 2013 Miss International really was at her peak. A year goes by. In 2015, Irish announced that she'd come out of retirement to compete at the 2016 Wings of Strength Rising Phoenix World Championships. And this was actually covered in the Generation Iron 2 film. And they go over it with her and her ex-boyfriend, Hideki. Yeah, I was just wondering if I said
Hideki. Hideki. Let's just say Hideki. Let's skip the last name and say Hideki. Hideki, just stick with Hideki. That's easier. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that because I know she. They said that one thing was she did an interview with Dave Jumbo Palumbo, and she said that she wanted to compete at the show, but they gave their excuse saying that she had to compete in other shows. But this is the thing is, she was the former Miss Olympia, but Alina Pupa, who didn't compete in any shows since 2014, was given the opportunity to compete at that show, and she placed fourth. But Iris couldn't compete at 2016, but where were the reason? Because that's why she said she didn't want to do any promotion for Wings of Strength for anybody else because they was giving a hard time. And as you know, by then, Wings of Strength had control over female bodybuilding, and Rising Phoenix, even though it wasn't run by the IFBB, it was still governed by the the judges. The judges were still governed under the judging. Because
Yeah.
we Springs couldn't get their own judges, so they had to take the judges that the IFB gave them. And that was a year when it was in return. That was Margie took second. Margie took first that show. Um, Second went to Sheila Black. Third went to Hel Trevino, and Alina took fourth. And also we got to remember that Alina came in after she had calf surgery back in 2015. She lost one of her calves. I think it was the left calf or the right calf, and she was kind of not as put together as she was in the past.
Yeah. And also to point out that um, a overall Miss Olympia winner um, can compete at any other Miss Olympia for the rest of their life without having to qualify for anything. Like, say, Linda Murray came back in 2002, she didn't have to qualify at all. So, if the Rising Phoenix World Championships is the successor to the Miss Olympia, Irish wouldn't have had to compete at all because she already won like um, 10 overall Miss Olympias prior to this. So, actually, in the documentary, apparently, from what Irish said, um, somebody, somebody in the who who does the qualification for these kinds of for the Rising Phoenix, I guess was trying to blackmail her um, by demanding she didn't quite say this, but it was implied. He wanted special session photos of Irish that unless she was compete. Yeah, yeah. I was watching the documentary, and that's pretty much what she says. Um, that one of the reasons why that they wouldn't let her compete is because one of the guys who does the qualification for the Rising Phoenix wanted basically session photos of her, private session photos, and she turned that down. So it was later confirmed that she would qualify for the 2006 Rising Phoenix, but she decides not to attend. Instead, she wants to train Hyde, her boyfriend, for the 2007 Arnold Classic.
That's 17.
Yeah, and speaking of Hideki, she goes on to co-promote 2 shows in Japan with her ex-boyfriend, and there's one there's one NPC show in Japan that is named the Irish Kyle Hideki Japanese Pro, and that's where you qualify for IFBB Pro cards in Japan. So, yeah. So she's very big in Japan. She's also been to Germany quite a bit because one of her early sponsors was in Germany, which is why she's fluent in German and Spanish. So, moving on a little bit, so she starts doing some guest posing, namely in Japan, and Ira still maintains her physique and everything like that. She never stops, having like the best physique on earth. And in July 2000, Iris announced that she would compete at the newly reformed 2000 Miss Olympia.
2020.
2020. 2020 Miss Olympia. July 2020. And this is a bit of a strange year because the 2020 Miss Olympia was brought back because Jake Woods bought the Miss Olympia, the Olympia weekend, and he wanted to bring back the Miss Olympia because he now controls the Olympia weekend. So, and since he's a big supporter of female bodybuilding, Wings of Strength, which is his organization, he decides to bring that back. However, because of the COVID pandemic raging through the United States at the time, there was some debate if the Miss Olympia would even happen in 2020. So there's that whole situation because it keeps getting pushed back to December. It was originally set in Las Vegas, but then it's moved to Tampa, Florida. And the whole thing's a giant mess.
Actually, was moved on that because we started to make it bigger. We had gas laws where they couldn't have no more than 20 people. But they was going to have both Rising Phoenix in Vegas, but they have it in one different, I think, where we were going to have it. I think it was Westgate, somewhere on Las Vegas Strip, and they was going to move the whole Olympia weekend to the Hard Rock Cafe. But because of COVID restrictions, crowd, they moved the whole Olympia weekend to Orlando, Florida, because Florida, the governor's Santos, is a Trump supporter and a believer of the COVID epidemic. They moved it there because they had to wear masks on stage. In Arizona, the right to Arizona, and they had it they had it last year. And for that show, we were required to wear masks on stage. But in your competitors was required to wear masks because, in Florida, you have to speak. They had a championship show that past summer. And the New York Pro came back. They moved to New York Pro, and they had to return to bodybuilding in New York Pro. They had at least 3 shows in Florida, 2 in Tampa, and the Olympia weekend in Florida, in Orlando.
Yeah. So there's that whole debacle. But prior to the 2020 Miss Olympia, Irish manages to get a coach for the first time in over 20 years. And her coach that she picks is IFBB pro bodybuilder, Patrick Tour, who coaches her for the 2020 Miss Olympia. We don't usually think of Irish as having a coach, because she's usually just coaching. She's usually the coach for like Hideki. So everything is on schedule. Irish is supposed to attend, and I remember this because I'm watching the 2020 Miss Olympia stream, because I paid for the pay-per-view to watch it. And Irish was not one of the names called out in the pre-judging, so I was a bit confused. And I checked online, and it was confirmed that Irish had been taken to the emergency room the day of the Miss Olympia pre-judging. So, Irish could not attend this Miss Olympia, which went to Andrea Shaw. So 2021, again, we're still in COVID. Everything kind of in flux now. But I do believe that they'll have a 2021 Miss Olympia. And I do think Irish will attend this one too. So we'll see if Irish, when she attends this one, if she can beat her own record of 10 overall Miss Olympia titles. Because she currently has 10 overall Miss Olympia titles and 2 heavyweight Miss Olympia titles.
Especially at least 9 international. Also.
Let me check. She's actually got 7 overall Miss International titles and 1 heavyweight overall Miss International title.
Also, that I know it was a while back. I did a video when I heard about her getting sick, and I reached out to her, and she's doing all right, but she had to recover. Both got a respiratory infection. She might have some like a case of flu. Now it wasn't COVID. She tested it. It wasn't COVID. I reached out to her about doing an interview, but I always said that she's under some contract and she can't do the interview outside of her contract. So that's just, maybe someday, maybe if her management or whatever, the opportunity, I would like to get more flexible, especially how much she has done. She has won more titles, more Olympians, guys like all of the person that became running COVID. I mean, that is just a record that no one's going to beat right now. Even guys like Big Mommy. Big Mommy could be in maybe think most girl bodybuilding might last maybe 10 years at the most. And Big Mommy just won his first Olympia. Good chance that he may not even break that record. And also, a while back, I did an interview with T.G. Thomas, Tiger Street, and they were she wasn't the one that was going to be doing that tried out for the documentary. Irish tried out, but the guy who was creating documentary turned her down. And I was like, oh, you turned down Irish Kyle? I can tell you. You look back at me. Yeah. You look if you all you can do is go to my channel. I know you subscribe her. You can find it. That was an interview with Thomas, and she mentioned how Irish was turned down for doing that documentary. That's why they went to Thomas. Tigers. And right now they're already working with teaching with some other um, projects.
Yeah. Well, I think that's insane that they would turn Irish down for an interview. Um,
Man,
uh, s- Speaking of Irish, I've managed to, way back in the day, I sent some emails to Irish, and I had some minor contact with Irish via email. Nothing too serious, just praising her and saying like, "You're great, keep going." You know, I still have those emails archived in my emails of me uh, uh, praising her, um, and I just want to go over a few stats. Well, at first, I want to go over her relationship status because originally she was dating John Sherman, who was a professional bodybuilder, and then she started dating Hideki.
Hideki, that's just it.
Hideki, yeah, I keep screwing that name up. Who was her training and business partner, who owned the Body Calf in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Um, uh, and apparently, she's now dating a finance executive. I'm
yeah,
not
that's
a
what that's yeah, that's what I heard. That's what because that's why I believe that I think he's the one that's controlling her career right now, and that's why I couldn't get the interview with her for my channel. But like I said, I'm gonna keep trying. Maybe if she wants to, I might try to stretch out to her. I'm trying to stretch out to other ladies out there about doing some interviews. I just it's just about timing. Right now during the season, a lot of ladies are prepping. Men's bodybuilding season don't start until about June. And I think the first show I think supposed to be in Omaha.
yeah. Um, I've looked up information about. I don't really know who this finance executive is, so trying to find that information is a little bit hard to say the least. Uh, but anyway, I just want to go over a few stats about Irish. Namely, uh, she can bench press 375 pounds, which is 170 kilograms, um, which is basically like almost almost the record for bench pressing among female bodybuilders in the world. Uh, Her biceps are 17 inches, 43 centimeters. Her calves are 18 inches, 46 centimeters. Her quadriceps are 29 inches, 74 centimeters. Her waist, 24 inches, 61 centimeters. She has a height of 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters, and her on-season weight is between 150 to 167 pounds, which is 68 pounds to 76 kilograms. Off-season weight 175 to 180, so 79 to 82 kilograms. That's her when she's not competing. Um, at the 2009 Miss International, uh, the heaviest she's ever weighed was, I believe, 167 pounds that I found.
Mm.
Uh, so, she also said that the 2009 Miss International is when she looked the best that she found. So, I found that interesting to note.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much everything I could get about Irish Kyle, information wise. A lot of it is just research that I had to do. Uh, I went over, a lot of it came from like Bill Dom, Domson's,
Yeah.
Ruth Silverman. You got Steve Winterstrom,
Yeah.
IFBB historian, and other sources. And yeah, I am a huge fan of Irish. In case anybody doesn't believe me, I have this right here. It's
Mm,
under,
that's nice. Yeah. That's like a
yes,
female body, like a baseball card, female bodybuilders.
yes, I bought it online, and I also got it's autographed by Irish herself.
Hmm.
A huge poster
Yeah,
of
it's
Irish
huge.
posing. Yeah. And I also got this photo as well.
Uh-huh. Might want to come a little bit to the side so people can see it. That's a pretty good photo. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that photo a lot. That's very popular. One of the most popular photos on the internet. You can if you follow certain sites, some people post that photo a lot on certain bodybuilding fetish sites. And like I
Yeah.
said, Iris is pretty much yeah, she's very popular. She's been around. That's why I was one of the people. I wasn't too big of an Iris fan, but I kind of like over sometimes. I've been like I kind of respect her as a editor. She has really done a lot of stuff in female bodybuilding. I just one thing that people don't realize that you know these women they do this work as a passion and they don't get as much money. Like when we talk about Nancy Lewis, how that's why the reason why she was both the Miss International and the Miss Olympic because she was only $25,000 a show, and that's an accident. She makes $25,000 out of the show, and in between her doing posts and videos, it was a way she could try to make money in between each show. You know, and now she has a business and she's successful with that, and really, she just she should break her record. And maybe we get to see her in 2020. We might we'll see what's going to happen because hello, more likely there's going to be a showdown between her and Andrew Shaw for the title. Or maybe she might be in top three. There was a lot of talk that possibly she was going to make the top three at the 2020 show. More likely maybe Marty taking first, Iris taking second, and like Andrew Shaw make the top five. But Andrew came in with a great team, and she took the show. And I think if Andrea could beat Olympia, maybe she feel like torch been passed. She might probably move on and go more on her business, her career.
Yeah. I guess it really just depends on if Irish wants to compete or not. Because I do think she would win the Miss Olympia. Um, uh, I've seen her guest posing in Japan. She still looks great as ever. So yeah, I guess this really just depends on if Irish gets sick or not. Because the only thing that seems to stop her is basically discontinuing the Miss Olympia or getting sick at this point. Uh,
That's big.
yeah,
Yeah, that's yeah. And also, bodybuilding is a lot of strain on these women's bodies. That's why a lot of women eventually retire because they just want to let their body be black try to, it's same with any athlete, like football players, how after a while they retire because of all the what they go through with boxers, basketball players, like they worry about the knee. It's like any other athlete. After a while, you
Yeah.
want to take some time to get your body to heal. Then, if you have a competitive nature, you want to come back and to show that you still get it. Like Michael Jordan, he retired that time, he came back and played for the Wizards, or with a lot of other players who have you know stepped away from the sport for a minute, come back and just pull that thing. I did what I can do now. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think this was a pretty good conversation here. We managed to cover over an hour of Irish Kyle, her history, her backstory, and I was really thick with the details of her
You,
history.
did a pretty
This
good
is a
job.
good.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm
Sorry
sorry I was
about
going
the.
in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sorry about my connection on my end because, like I said, I want to get a better computer I had for quite some time. I get a little stronger, maybe a little bit, like I said, with connection. We don't have to worry about your problems. But like I said, Jared, I really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate your knowledge, your commitment to your favorite lady, Iris Kyle. It just shows that how much you got to realize that these ladies have pain, and we respect what they do. There are guys, yes, there are guys who worship them. There's some, there's guys who may have sexual feelings towards them, but there are also just respect them as like any other athlete, and that's what it's about. This is what it's about: educate people about these women and their commitment to the sport, and our commitment as fans to them.
Yes. And that is
Yeah.
why we are such huge fans that we are of these women. But yeah, I will catch you later, George. I'm glad that we were able to cover Irish in such detail, as being such a fan that I am of her. And we'll see what happens in 2021. So
All
you
right.
have a good day, and I will catch you in it later.
All right. Thanks, Jared. I really appreciate it, man. I'll see
Jeez.
you later. Anyway, Jared, that's he's a great guy. I mean, I really like him. He drops some really knowledge for our people to understand. But anyway, this was a great story about a lady that a lot of people may not know about. If you want, is search our. I did some videos about her. If you follow me on my YouTube, check in the video section in my content, and you can find her information on her social media, and you can get in contact with her. So anyway, I'm going to end it off. This is your man, Honorary George Page, aka Emperor of female bodybuilding talk. Like, don't subscribe.